So my name is Daniel Sandefur. I spent the last 10 years in the beverage industry with Coca-Cola here in Atlanta. Most recently, I was a director of customer and commercial, leading the US expansion of a Turkish tea company. Primarily in both marketing and a touch of sales, but really I would say my superpowers are brand management and creative marketing. Unfortunately, within Coca-Cola, they did a reorg. And so they dissolved the Global Ventures department, which is where my role sat. You know, when they say, you fall off a horse, the best thing to do is to get back on the horse. And I think that that's been kind of the hardest thing for me and for a lot of job seekers. It starts to take a big toll on your mental health, especially the longer you've been out of work, the more that self-doubt starts to creep in, the more that you start to question, am I experienced enough? Do I really have those skills? Especially when you invest weeks or even months into this process for one role, it starts to really eat away at your self-confidence. Everybody wants to put on a brave face and put on a smile when they see you. But deep down, a lot of us are really struggling. Not really that deep down, a lot of us are struggling. Through this process, I actually started a organization called Impact After Impact Atlanta. And so basically the idea is, because there's so many of us out of work, there's so many people that feel ostracized. They feel that they don't have a community. The idea is that we get together in the morning, do some community service, but then it's also an opportunity to network with each other. You're working with these people for a couple of hours doing something really great, but you're getting to know them as you're sorting and things. And then afterwards, what we're doing is going for maybe a lunch or a happy hour, and then actually building community, doing some real networking, seeing how we can support each other. When you lose your job, you're also losing a lot of the people that you interact with day in, day out. So that's one of the things that, when you go to lunch with the same person 4 days a week, when you're in office 3 days a week, whatever, suddenly you're finding yourself sitting at home behind a computer looking at profiles of, everybody obviously puts their best foot forward out there. So all of these positive things that are happening, and it starts to really eat away at your confidence. I mean, obviously we've all been ghosted. We've all been in that process. If you've been in the job market within the last year, ghosting is completely out of control. I had one company reach out to me saying that, hey, you interviewed with us last year. We thought you were great. Wasn't, the right fit. That's fine. They said, hey, we've got a role coming open beginning of the year. We would love for you to interview for it. He said, I want you to go ahead and create a presentation for us. The presentation can kind of be anything that you want it to be. She wants to see how your brain works. So I do that. I put together everything. I was in New York at the time on a trip, vacation. So I'm putting this together, waiting for a call, and then nothing. 4 weeks in, I believe it was, hey Daniel, I'm so sorry, I'm the literal worst. These are the recruiter's actual words. I'm the literal worst. Yeah, that role never came open. I know you're in the pipeline for other things at other companies. Hope it all works out. Good luck. There's so many roles out there that are either ghost postings, or they're trying to, maybe gauge interest or create a pipeline of talent for when this role may potentially come to fruition, if or when that ever happens. But as a candidate, that's super frustrating. The people that are applicants right now, you really have to be a unicorn. In fact, I applied for a role before I left Coke at Coca-Cola, and the person on the team, the hiring manager, good friend, I think he's an amazing person, but he straight up told me, he's like, look, I don't have time to train someone right now. And he said, I know that you have 90% of the experience, but I need someone that has 100% of the experience. I am looking for a true unicorn. Those were his exact words. I am looking for a unicorn. People have been taken out of the equation. And what I mean by that is, with the introduction of AI, with the introduction of ATX and all of these buzzwords and keywords and blah, 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 there's so many incredibly talented, incredibly gifted candidates that are being completely overlooked by a system that is set up to help you, that is in fact hurting you.